the manager of the New York Mets, Terry Collins. Everybody is here. Terry.
Kevin, how are you?
You are looking tan, and boy, you must be feeling good right now.
Well,
huh?
I'm feeling great. Especially what I saw today out of that inter-squad game. It was really fun to be out there and see him playing again.
Bet you read the report of the niece's MRI. You felt pretty good too, huh?
Yeah, I got that early this morning. It made the day a lot better knowing that John's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's I'd say that's pretty good. Give me your impression so far the first 2 weeks. It almost seems to me, and maybe the World Baseball Classic has something to do with it, but it seems like things are a little bit more accelerated this year. What's your overall take?
Well, I'll tell you, Kevin, we have coaches meetings every day, and the general consensus among the coaches, we've never been so athletic on the field since the time we've been here. The drills are running smooth. These kids are, they're excited. There's a lot of energy. They go through the drills properly. We get them done. We get them done fast. And they're athletic on everything they do. So it's been fun to watch.
Next 5 weeks, what is the, obviously there's always questions to answer, but the next 5 weeks, what is the biggest issue you'd like to see resolved in front of your eyes for this team?
Well, again, I think one of the things we've faced for about 3 years here now, we got to rebuild the bullpen.
Yeah.
We've lost some big guys out of that, some keys out of that bullpen and have done a good job for us, and we've got to find the pieces that are going to allow us to get to the ninth inning. And we brought some real quality arms in here, and it'll be fun to see what the outcome is.
How do you view those young guys? You got Farnsworth and Valverde as the veterans here. I know you said earlier that the veterans, certainly you'd have a little preference. If it's even, though, does that mean the young guys have advantage? How do you view this? It's so interesting because there's so many young arms that have been in the Mets system getting a chance to show themselves now.
Well, Kevin, as we get into spring training, they're going to have a chance to show themselves. Early it's just about getting some work, getting some innings, getting comfortable on the mound. But there's going to be some of those guys who are going to be here towards the end of spring training, and they're going to face some big hitters. I want to see how they handle it. I want to see how they prepare themselves. And obviously, the biggest thing is that some of these guys who are minor league starters, I want to make sure they're able to bounce back day to day.
Interesting. Ike Davis, you said you want to get him like 100 at bats. That's 40 more than the norm, I'd say. Probably 45 more than he had last year. Why? And why do you think that's so important for him?
Well, we got to get Ike going, and the only way to get him going is to get him feel like he's in midseason form. And then the only way to do that is get him at bats. I want him to come out of here like it's May 15th and not April 15th. So, the only way to tell is to get him up there, get him comfortable in the batter's box. He's worked very hard on his swing, and we just want to see what the results are going to be.
Juan Lagares, we know the debate. He was unbelievable defensively. Offensive game, not quite there yet. And you go outside Chris Young, we know what's there. What does Lagares have to do to win time in center field?
Well, Kevin, he's got to show us that he can do the things that we like done here. Well, number one, we know he's a great defender. There's no question about that. But he's got to show us the ability to get on base. He's got to show us the ability to drive a ball. If he gets on base and he does some of the little things, he draws some base on balls, he's going to be a big production part of our lineup. We're looking for a leadoff hitter. Obviously, we've got the guy in camp in Eric Young, but if there's going to be nights Eric Young doesn't play, we've got to find that guy. And is it Chris Young? Is it Juan Lagares? Who is it going to be? Is it Ruben Tejada? We know he's done it in the past. So, that's a big part of your order, especially when you've got the middle of the order that we do now.
Interesting you mentioned Eric Young. If he is out of the lineup, even just a couple days off, if he starts every day, who's your leadoff hitter if it's not him? Are you? I mean, I know you have more speed, but are you kind of trying to sort through that? Who could play that role for this team?
Well, that's one of the questions that we've got to decide in the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, okay, that'll be interesting to see. Shortstop now. Tejada went to the camp. He did everything the team asked him to do. Certainly in better shape than he was last year. Came in early, all those things. What can he be, Terry? I mean, is he the guy we saw last year that just looked like a shell of the guy the year before? What is Ruben Tejada right now?
Well, I will tell you, I talked to the guy who ran that camp up in Michigan that Ruben went to. The first month he was there, Kevin, he couldn't run. He was coming off the broken leg. He could not run. All he could do was work on his upper body strength. He went back. He did the other running. We'll see how it translates on the field. Well, he's still got to be talented, kid. 2 years ago, we thought the sky was going to be the limit, especially offensively for Ruben Tejada. You know what? He's bigger. He's stronger. Is he quicker? I don't know. But if he can be that same kind of that quality hitter that gives you that quality at bat, that fight off pitches, work a count, get deep into a count, get on base. He's going to contribute here because he's got great hands. We know he's got a great arm. 24 years old.
Yeah.
You can't be giving up on 24-year-olds yet.
That being said, do you give Flores a bigger look? And what is a bigger look? What kind of look do you give him to see if he could actually play with this newfound speed?
Well, obviously, it's the mobility that's improved. I don't think Wilmer's ever really spent that much time working on his lower body, trying to get in condition to play the middle of the infield. When you have the bat potential he has, you've got to find a place place for him to play. We've got a third baseman. Right now, we've got 3 or 4 first basemen. If this guy drives and runs the way people say he can drive and runs, I talked to Jim Leland this winter about Peralta that went at $53 million from the Cardinals.
Yeah.
He described Wilmer Flores, a big guy, a great offensive player, not necessarily the best range. Hey, look, it's our job once in a while to put these guys in the right spot on the field to catch a ground ball.
It's an interesting comparison, and that's a good one. I hadn't heard that. Instant replay, before we let you go, Terry, this is I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, honestly. And I'm curious, first of all, are you doing it in spring training games? I haven't heard a peep about it. Is this being used in spring training for you to kind of practice, or what's the deal there?
Well, obviously, we aren't going to have all the cameras that we're going to have during the season.
True.
But we are going to have 6 games that we're going to have challenges. We're going to be able to try the challenge. One of the things they explained to us in the beginning was to take every game throughout spring training and write down, hey, I would challenge this. I would challenge that. And obviously, think about it, talk about it when the game is over. But it's going to be interesting because none of us have ever done it.
Yeah.
When are you going to do it? They brought up a scenario. Well, you're only going to do it during a real important part of the game. You know what a real important part of the game is? The third out in the third inning.
Could be the first inning.
Absolutely. Right? So that your starting pitcher doesn't have to throw 15 or 20 more pitches. So, it'll be interesting to see how it works and, all the dynamics that are involved, the play at home plate. This is going to be an interesting year to watch the game for sure.
Terry, look forward to the first game tomorrow.
Kevin, that's great to see you.